What's up, y'all? It's Rob back with another illustrious episode of the Play No Games podcast. And if you like what we're doing, and if you're already a follower, I appreciate you. Meaning, number one, for us to grow bigger, like, subscribe, please. It helps us grow, helps me pay my friends. But most importantly, if you like what we're doing, that's the positive feedback that we need. But enough of me yapping about subscribers. We got an illustrious guest. Now, this is a Portland business owner from the mud and out into the royalties of business owning. We got Mehamed on the podcast today.
What's going on, man?
Welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, usually we would jump straight into an episode, but I think this is a more fun way for people to get to know you. So I got some rapid fire questions for you. You can answer it in one sentence or one word, okay? Because I want the people to get to know you from a different way before we get into some of the questions. So, rapid fire, as fast as you can. In one sentence, who is Mehamed Ali?
Man, that's who's Mehamed Ali? Ambitious person.
Okay. What hurt built you?
What hurt built me?
Mm-hmm. One word or one sentence?
What hurt built me? Abandonment.
abovegrndpdx. If I walk in, should I order coffee or matcha?
Man. If you ask my cousin Ridwan, he say matcha, but me, I say coffee, tiramisu latte.
Okay.
The MVP.
We're gonna learn more about that. When it comes to forgiveness, who should we forgive more? Will Smith for the Oscar slap, or KD with the burner account?
Bro, pause. I don't know if you know, but Kevin Durant, that's my favorite player.
Really?
Like
of course I know that.
Like that's, like I'm a KD fan. I flew to Houston to watch him play, flew to Phoenix to watch him play. Would have went to Brooklyn, but you know how that played out. Who do we forgive? I don't think. Man, I say KD, but it ain't really nothing to forgive. Yeah.
Fair enough. MVP loading. What are you loading?
That's my truck business. Do freights.
Okay. Last but not least, who are you when nobody's watching?
Who am I when nobody's watching? I'm a giving person. I don't really I watch my grandma and my mom always give to people, homeless people, to a single mom on the side of the street, whatever the case might have been. So for me, it's just it don't matter if it's the last dollar in your wallet. You stop at that red light and you see a homeless lady or a homeless person, if it's a holiday or not a holiday, take that dollar and whatever else you got in your pocket and give it to them, and then it's going to come back in full, Yeah.
Well, that's one way to get to know Mehamed, but I have some questions for him because I want us to really get to know him. Now, one of the first things I want to ask you is, in your life, what was the time where you felt the most invisible?
What was the time I felt the most invisible? Honestly, it's crazy. I never really talked about this publicly, but so when I was a kid, I moved in with my grandma, and my grandma, my grandma raised me, and my cousin, which is my mom's sister, her daughter, my auntie, she passed away, and so my mom basically adopted her and took care of all of us. And so she would be sending money to my grandma, and I lived with my grandma. But, years go by, fast forward, we're living in different areas, but my mom always was trying to get me back, but I was just going there to visit, and my grandma was just like, nah, he's not leaving. And so my mom, she was doing everything in her power to try to get me back and stuff. But, as a kid, I thought my mom was my auntie, not saying my mom wasn't acting like a mom. She was acting like a mom.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what a mom was. I was like, grandma, So I was thinking grandma was my mom. So I'm like, this lady, she's trying to act like my mom, but I'm thinking this is auntie. She buy the bikes, she send money, she does it all. But I'm thinking like my grandma was the one doing it, because that's how my grandma kind of disguised it. But so I met my siblings. I didn't know my siblings, and so like when I met them, I probably was like 8 for the first time, and I felt invisible, because like I try to I get out the car, my mom's talking to me and everything. She's like, you're about to be good, like, all this stuff. And I'm like, okay. I go, I meet my siblings, and like, they're just looking at me like, bro, who is this?
Yeah.
Who are you? Like, why? Like, and I'm trying to play with them and stuff, and they're just not going for it. And so I was like, okay. I was like, I seen this basketball hoop. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I'm about to just go over here and play this, or I see a soccer ball. I'm like, I'm about to go play this. I just kind of walked away from them, but I was trying to like build a relationship with them fast, and like I felt like it wasn't working. So that's how I felt invisible. Like I was just like, like I was kind of confused, and like I realized that played a big factor in like the future.
Number one, I really appreciate you sharing that, because I think when we kind of talk a lot about people and their origin stories, it's moments where we do feel invisible. Because I will just say, just hearing that story from you, it kind of just brought up with me the moments I felt invisible in my own life. And you are right. The moments we feel like that is what informs our future. And it's just impactful when we reflect about those things, because maybe you thought about, you could connect the dot of like, now I know why I do this, or why this happened. So now I really appreciate you you saying that, because that leads me into something I want to quote from you. So I want to make sure I get this right.
Yeah.
So you said, I hurt my community. Now, you said this in a post talking about an aspect of something that happened in your life. And I'm just curious, and what year during your sentence where you really felt that you really reflected that, I hurt my community? When did you learn that?
Honestly, I feel like I was 18, when it all started, but like I don't think it really all hit until like maybe 3-4 years in. Like, everything slows down. Everything's like, you had a whole different life in there. And then I started to realize like, like, nah, bro, like all of us in here, like we all wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like people in the streets aren't perfect either, but they're on the streets. We're in here, and we got caught doing whatever it is that we did. So then it's like, it's time to own up to it. I can't blame nobody. I can't blame the people that told on me or flipped on me. I can't blame the judge. I can't blame the DA. I can't blame anybody. You know what I mean? I get up, walk out of that cell, or I get off the bunk. I look in that mirror. I get to brushing my teeth. I can only blame that guy that's looking at me. Can't blame nobody else. And so, like, I think it took me, like, about 3 to 4 years where I was like, I can accept it now. Like, like, there's no, like, nah, it's not my fault, or I could have did this, I could have avoided this, and whatnot. So, I think that was it for me. Like, I was like, man, like, it's your fault. You did this.
Now, this is not like a prompt where I'm like, well, tell me all the details of like what happened, things like that. Yeah. I really want people to see the the reflection of going through an experience. And, you know, I guess for me, whatever you feel comfortable with, what did that mistake teach you about life?
Man, like, I mean, I feel like it goes back to what I was saying. You know, it taught me accountability. It taught me to finally be like, you know, whatever your story is, whatever you went through, like whatever trauma you've had as a kid or, you know, in life, like it doesn't give you an excuse to do any sort of those things, you know what I mean? It puts you in that place. And so like, and like, that's why it's like, for me, it's so important now when I talk to people, you know what I mean? Especially youth, I really try to like get them to understand, and I relate to them because I'm like, some people, you see it in their face, you see it in their eyes, like you see hurt, you see betrayal, you see the unknown, you know what I mean? The confusion, the just the kid in them, you know, they're just kids. But people don't understand, a lot of kids carry so much weight and so much like trauma and so much on their shoulders and just in their eyes that if you take the time to actually pay attention as an adult, you'll see it, you know what I mean? And so 9 out of 10 times it could stop anything from happening in the future, you know what I mean? And so I think that was like what did it for real.
No, I appreciate that. So as a therapist, I think it's important to like have these conversations when you kind of talk to people who've experienced and have been incarcerated and spent whatever time, whether they did in there, because like when people come out, it's like a scarlet letter. And I've interviewed a lot of people, if I'm being honest with you, who's, you know, had some experience with going to jail and things of that manner. And like one of the things that I've always like geeked about and understood is like, me personally, I don't know how you feel, and you can fill in the blank, where like sometimes I feel like our prison system really doesn't prepare people for what's life outside of my voice. Sorry. My voice. Sorry, guys. It doesn't prepare folks for what's life afterwards. And I hear a lot of success stories like yours where you had to understand and pull your own self up from the bootstraps, and like you had this like mental health awakening. So I just want to, if you could be like as honest as you can be when it comes to the mental health aspect of being and dealing with the system, how do you feel it prepared you, or how did you prepare yourself for life after?
Man, honestly, actually, you know, it's crazy. I met one of my guys in there. His name is Martin. Martin Lockett. He's Arthur. When you look at Martin, you'd be like, bro, you do not belong here. And that's what I used to do every day when I would walk in that day room. I would see him and I'd be like, you don't belong here. He was kind of like a mentor to me. Like, you know, I was like, he writes books. You know, he's always minding his own business. You know what I mean? He's in college classes. He's at the library. He's doing something productive all the time. And I'm like, yo, we're in prison. And he's doing this. And I'm like, you know, and then you look over to the other side and you see other people, same age as you, same age as him, younger, older. You know, they're confused or lost. Like, there's no guidance at all. And so then, like, you know, I started picking his brain. I'd ask him questions. You know, I was like, yo, I want to write a book. He was like, for real? He giving me tips, telling me. I grabbed a journal one day and I sat down. I started writing. And then I was like, man, you know, let me pause this book real quick. I need to come up with a plan for when I get out, you know? And I was like, that's when it all started. I was just like, I started really locking in. I was like, I need to come up with a plan. I met this dude. He was a business owner, owned multiple businesses, crazy amount of businesses. He's telling me stuff, you know, my pops owned businesses and stuff growing up. So I always wanted to like the entrepreneur route. And I was like, you know, I seen my dad work hard. and trying to do what he did. And I was like, man, I could do the same thing, but I think I could do it better, you know? So that was my goal. And so with the guys that I like, you know, would talk to and stuff and pick up on game, and like the business owner dude, he taught me how to write my first business plan. And
Really?
so from there, yeah, he taught me how to write my first business plan.
In your first, wow!
I'm telling you, I wish I would have brought my notebooks with me. I sent you some pictures of it, but I got out with notebooks, composition notebooks, where I have business plans, and you know, the truck business. I had a business plan for that.
Damn.
Before I got out, but it was with tow trucks. You know, instead of like semis and box trucks.
Yeah.
You know, I had, I wrote a business plan. I wanted to own a real estate firm, you know, and I started reading books after books. And I was just, you know, I get on the phone like, hey, order me this book off of Amazon. And I'm just reading and I'm just studying. I'm just writing stuff down. You know, I'm really just, I'm trying to learn the financial, like, part of things, like how finance work, you know, how to operate a business. You know, I started writing I wrote a business plan for a barbershop. I did one for like a restaurant. Yeah, I had like a bunch of ideas, you know what I mean?
The reason why I at least wanted to open up and start talking about this at the beginning, number one, to get out of the way and talk about it, because there's so many other beautiful things that have happened and you've done in your life, but to really zero in on, we as a society, we really suck at when people make mistakes, like it's the scarlet letter.
Yeah.
And I believe you really just said like a gem, because in my opinion, I feel like that self-awakening was self-built in a place where you're supposed to be rehabilitated, a place where you're supposed to do the things where I feel like it's just sometimes they're just like, well, we'll see what happens, rather than how can we make sure you got what you need? How can we make sure you don't feel invisible? And the wherewithal that you had, because, and I'm butchering, you just said it and I feel so bad because you said that person said that you're not supposed to be here. You like, you don't belong. And I'm so glad you have heard those words, because...
No, I said that to Martin.
Oh, you said them to Martin. Okay.
I said that to Martin because I was like, you don't belong here. But I've had like old heads, like they'll tell me like, you know, like you don't belong here, you know, like you don't, and you know, it's crazy. Like I've seen a lot of them since I've been out now. Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of them. I had two of them actually come to my coffee shop about 2 months ago. They came. After the grand opening, they came, kicked it, they bought drinks. One of them brought his daughter there. You know, one of them, he's running for office now, and one of my other guys, he's doing community work. You know, definitely good to see them, especially down 20, 25, 30 years in the system. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen a lot of people like get out and, like what you were saying, like not change, you know, like kind of like, you know, some people be fried from all that time. And, you know, I've seen people crash out, and some people just like your mindset mentally, you got to be so strong mentally to like hold, like going through that and experiencing that and spend, you know what I mean? At times you're in a cell for 23 hours a day. You know what I mean? You're out for 45 minutes. Like, you know, mentally, you got to have like a strong mindset to bounce back from that and shake that and get back into society and like be a positive impact to people, you know, and like give people a light. You know what I mean? Like when I was in there, you know, I lost contact with a lot of people, you know, people that I had real love for, like, you know, like it was a point in time I used to tell my mom, like, you know, I'll call her once a week. I'd be like, don't worry about me, you know, like I was just talking to my little brother the other day about this. He was saying that he was like, yeah, man, when I remember when you was gone, I was in elementary school, because I left when he was in like second grade and I got out when he was in high school. And he was like, yeah, I remember mom was telling me you was in college in Seattle. And I'm like, it's crazy because I remember he just messaged me the other day. He seen my location. He was like, I didn't know you was in Seattle, bro. What? You could have took me. And I was like, that's funny you say that now. You didn't even know how far Seattle was back then, you know? And so I'm like, if I was in Seattle for real, bro, like back then you should have known like it's 2 hour drive, 2 hours and a half, you know? But I'm like, I'm glad my mom didn't tell him. And he ended up eventually hearing it from kids in the neighborhood. You know, they see my mom and him at the grocery store. They're like, yo, how's MVP? Blah, blah, blah. When's he getting out? And I've seen pictures of him. He got big and, you know, stuff like that. And he's like, what are they talking about, Mom? I thought you said he was in college. And then eventually it sunk into him. But, you know, definitely, yeah. I don't even know what part.
No. I just appreciate the pure vulnerability. Yeah. Now, my final question, and just this segment, is forgiveness. You have a business when it talks about forgiveness, and I think we as a society really struggle at forgiving at a level. And I'm just curious, when it comes to forgiveness, have you worked on and have you forgiven just yourself?
Man, forgiveness. Man, I personally, I had to take a deep breath for that because, like, personally, myself, I've forgiven a lot of people. I've forgiven myself. I've forgiven people I grew up with. I've forgiven people that left me hanging. I've forgiven the COs that used to yell at me, the people that didn't believe in me. You know, funny, actually, I seen a CO, you know, that I seen a CO that definitely used to get on me a lot. You know, he used to always have something to say. And, you know, he's like, yo, I seen you on TikTok. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, I seen you on TikTok. Like, you got some kind of, like, cafe or something? I was like, whoa. I was like, I know you. He was like, yeah. He was like, bro, I did not think you was going to get out and do anything that you've been doing. I actually clicked the page and was watching. And I was shocked. Like, you know, like, and I was like, damn. I was like, I appreciate it. I was like, that's a wholesome moment, you know, in a way. Like, it's, you know, it's like a backhand, like, you know, but it's like, whoa, you know what I mean?
I'm glad you said it.
You know, I appreciated him. And then, like, you know, I even had, like, my counselors from, like, prison, they came to the shop. They, like, took a field trip, showed up to the shop. I got a picture with them. Like, they came, took a picture with me, came to see the shop, and, like, all bought drinks, all, like, just, you know, they went back. They're emailing me the next day, like, you know, I can't believe, like, we're so proud of you and this and that. And, like, you know, it's like, that's what it's all about, you know what I mean? Like, me personally, I'm always scared to, like, share my story just because I wouldn't say necessarily worried about what people think. I just don't want people to judge me off of that story. And that's what, like, plays a big factor in, like, you know, when I was telling you, like, oh, man, you know, I kind of get nervous about speaking on it because I don't want people to look at me and be like, I don't want them to go from the coffee shop owner to, what? I didn't know he was, you know, I didn't know he did this when he was 18. I didn't know. But it's like, it's not what defines you. But some people, you know, we live in a judgmental world now where people will use anything to judge you, you know what I mean? You could cross the street and cut a car off, and now you're a a-hole, you're this, and that. But realistically, you could have been just crossing the street just to get to your sick grandma that's down the street, and you're trying to hurry up and get her to the hospital. Like, you know, they never know the real truth and story behind why they're calling you that. They're just in the moment calling you that. And I don't like that.
Now, the reason why I wanted to craft this first part like this is because when I had the opportunity off camera here and in your shop to talk to you is you walk with so much atonement. And when I say atonement is, you know, when someone has made a mistake, they move with change behavior. And I feel like when people really get a life lesson from God and all the things, right? It's like, if you had the opportunity to do it again, would you do it differently? And just how you move and how you talk lets me know, and to let anyone know when it comes to atoning, that's something you do every day. But also at the same time, it's about, I'm pretty sure there was a plethora of opportunities that could have made you turn left, but you're putting all that energy into inspiring. So I just want to say to you that I hope that you spend more time forgiving yourself for the mistakes you made, because I'm just say you've already made up for it tenfold, because when you forgive yourself, because I can already hear how many people you've blessed just doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
But you got to continue to keep doing that for yourself. I can see that. And let's just say, I'm going to say this to the camera. We've all done our things. And if we don't forgive ourselves, we can never help the next people going forward, because we can help someone from that lesson. So if y'all got a problem with his story, then you have a problem with my story. So anybody got a problem with you, send them to me.
No, I'm not
Because
worried. Even if, I mean, that's, you gotta, like, if you got a problem with my story, that's it's deeper than just me. But honestly, like I said, I tell people all the time, like, even like do everything I've done, even like when it comes to like my mom, my parents, me, even like forgiveness and like them forgiving me for leaving them and going away from the family, me forgiving myself, like none of that matters, because at the end of the day, like I ask God for forgiveness, you know what I mean? And as long as I ask God for forgiveness, that's the only forgiveness I'm honestly worried about. You know what I mean? Personally for me, like that's always just what it's been for me. Like the biggest forgiveness that I want is from God.
And don't forget your actions. You move like you are forgiving yourself, and you're going to continue doing that. And as a mental health licensed professional, Big M, if you got a problem with him, then you are not anywhere advocate for mental health. So I'm going to say that right now. I'm putting that on my license. Yeah. Meaning, I appreciate you sharing. And at this time, if you enjoyed what we've been talking about, it gets a little bit more spicy. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Be right back.
As you may know, I'm Arthur Dixon, and I created for you a 10 recipe cookbook to help you cook vegan food for your friends. It's 10 simple recipes from desserts, meals, even appetizers that you can incorporate into your everyday meals. There's nothing hard about this recipe book. Everything in here is very simple, very easy. My cookbook can be found on my Facebook page at Arthur Dixon, my Instagram page at Brace Yourself Oregon, and on the Play No Games podcast page in the bio. Make sure you go check it out. Thank you very much. Peace. You didn't see none of that, okay?
We're back, y'all. Hopefully you like that commercial break, and I'm back here with Mehamed. I'm glad he hasn't left. And man, we about to talk a little bit more about some of the things that you've been a bright shining star in. Portland's home to many brews, lots of well-owned coffee shops. Why should we come into yours?
I mean, it's not just about coffee. With Above Ground, you know, Above Ground is community based. You know, like for me, like I'm big on community, and I feel like that plays a big factor at Above Ground. You know, and we're young, you know, we motivate the youth at Above. You know, the guys that work, the people that have worked at Above and the people that work at Above are in school. They're young. They learn about entrepreneurship. They gain a lot of great skills outside of just making coffee. You know, they learn how to communicate with customers. They learn how to network with people. You know, they meet all types of people. Lawyers, engineers, whatever you can think of, you know, people come in, you know, we ask questions. Hey, what do you do for work? You know, we just have conversations with them. And, you know, especially like my guy, Ridwan, he's met a lot of people. He's in college at PSU. And so he's going to school for accounting, I think. Okay. And so like for him, it's like he plays a big role at Above, you know. Like, I got this thing I like to say, like, whatever Ridwan says goes. You know, it's like what Riddy says goes.
There we go.
You know, when I'm not around or when I'm around, like, you know, there's times where Dawn tells, I swear, there's times where Dawn tells me like, yo, nah, we're not going that route. We're going here. And he's telling me this. And I'm like, all right, Dawn, you got it. You know, like.
They literally,
you know?
they just literally told me, because I was trying to do something like with a thumbnail, and I was like, we got to do this, and he was like, no. And then I was like, he's like, double check with RJ, and he literally was like, no. And I was like, I gotta trust my team.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, there's been so many times he'll call me and tell me like, yo, this needs to be done, this, can you get it done? And I'd be like, yeah, I got you. Like, yep. And I hit him like, yo, I just did this, and this. Because, you know, it's like we have that relationship where I trust him. You know what I mean? Like, I trust, like, there's been times I've left and I'm like, yeah, call me, let me know, check with me as far as other people go. But it's been times where I'm like, yo, like, he's running the show, you know, like, he's like, you know, even like when I've had previous like business partners and stuff, and I'm like, yo, Ridwan, you got the hat. It's your show. And he's like, I already know.
He
like,
be peeping the bullshit. He be
he already knows. He already knows, and it's like, you know, and you know he's gonna go 110%.
I wonder if I would pass his test.
Oh yeah, no, he's super cool.
Okay,
like,
okay.
No, like see, the thing about him is like there's no way you don't like him though. That's the thing. He's a real like genuine person though. Like he doesn't do stuff for clout. He doesn't want recognition. He doesn't want his face or like he doesn't care about none of that. He like pure heart. You know what I mean? Like I remember when he was like this tall. You know, and I used to take him to McCoy Park. You know, he couldn't go. He couldn't. I think he said I was the first person to ever take him to McCoy Park because I don't think his mom would let him go. You know what I mean? Like I remember when the first time I think he went to the park. Like you know what I mean? Like he's been always just a genuine nice person. Like for real. Like it takes a lot for him not to get along with you, not to be able to work with you or anything like that. Like he like super dope.
Now that's what I can say about these guys over here. Very, very genuine, kind-hearted people. I will say this, you know, sometimes they think they funny,
right?
But I would say, push comes to shove, I will put my life in their hands, and I would just say this: people don't forget like the kindness you give, and like. I think he will never forget that because you trusted him. You're like, you can come to the park with me. We got this. That's so definitely. Important. Definitely. Which brings me to really quickly when it comes to the shop, right? Because you just talked about an important team member that makes a shop, and you know a team makes a shop, but also the product. And I'm just curious if Keith Leaf or one of these top food influencer people, like what on the menu would you say that they gotta try?
You know, I got something to say actually.
Ooh.
Because, you know, when he was in town, we were closed. We were closed and relocating from our downtown building. And I was so hurt because I was like, I seen people tagging him, go check this out, go. And then I think he said something about going to get matcha from somewhere. And I was like, bro, if he would have went to the shop and met Ridwan, and like I was like, we would have been so lit. I was so devastated. So I mean, this for the town, our people. If he ever comes back into town, let's make that happen.
Let's make it happen.
Let's make
it happen. So what would you serve him up?
I mean, most definitely. I mean, he would
an MVP.
The MVP, yeah. I was about to say the MVP. You know, the MVP for sure, the MVP. Or that tiramisu latte is going crazy, I'm not going to lie.
Dude, whose idea was that?
What Ridwan said.
I was about to say what Ridwan.
Yeah, Riddy says go. He's a genius.
Okay.
The cookie butter latte. What Riddy says goes.
Oh, dang.
He's a genius.
Man, that I'm not gonna lie, tiramisu. Like I've heard of it like a cheesecake, but tiramisu latte.
Oh, we got some cheese. We got some stuff. We got some stuff. I'm telling you, we got some. We've definitely came up with some. I done came up with some cold drinks, but when it, like Riddy, he's came up with like he's cold.
Hey, shout out to you. I'm gonna make sure I get the spelling correct because this will be a clip. Rwan, this will be a clip. I personally, for me, whatever you say, go for you.
Whatever he's like Young Thug said, whatever Lil Baby says goes. That's what I be saying about Riddy. Whatever he says goes.
Okay.
Like literally, he said whatever Wham says goes.
Oh, there we go. Origin.
Whatever Riddy says goes.
Okay.
So that's like, and then you know what's crazy about him, like there's like people come like, bro, like it's hard to explain, like making the drink is one thing, but he takes his passion serious. Like when it comes to making a drink and like the customer tasting every ounce of coffee and every ounce of flavor and like the milk, the espresso, the syrup, you know what I mean? Like he's made house-made stuff that's fire, you know what I mean?
And you need someone like that in the business where, like, it's like someone has to geek about like the business side. Someone has to geek about the hospitalities, and like you just need someone. So it's just really good to like hear that because I'll be thinking about that stuff because when you're air quotes like CEO, the top dog, whatever. Yeah. Yes, you have to be able to do and jump into anything, but you got to have the specialist. Like there's certain things that they've taught me that I'm like forever grateful for, but like there's a reason why you do that well. You do that because it's just like they care. So no, I appreciate that.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like Microsoft, like, you know, the idea was brought up by a few people, right?
Oh, I don't know. They probably know more.
With Microsoft, the idea was brought in by a few people.
For the operating system or?
For just Microsoft, the like Dell, like you know what I mean? Like
the company and
the company, in general. It was brought in.
I think it was brought in by a few people because I think it has like the same base as like the original Apple computers back in the day.
Okay, so scratch that. Let's go with Apple. Apple
and more people
was bought. No, but so it was created by the guy. What's his name? Who's the founder of Apple?
Steve.
I don't know. Steve Ballmer is just part of the finance group. He's not the creator of it.
Okay, but that's my point. He's not the creator,
Jobs,
right?
Jobs.
Yeah, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs.
He was CEO during the 90s, 2000s.
Steve Jobs?
Yeah, I don't think he actually founded the company. He was fired from it.
So Steve Jobs, so Jobs, Ballmer, they were all involved in Apple, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the founder of Apple.
Yeah.
So my point is, the founder didn't produce the whole iOS system, Apple. Like he didn't do everything on his own. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's still his product, but he didn't do everything on his own. It takes groups of tech people and a lot of technology and, you know, all types of different things to get put together for it to be the product that it is today.
No.
And so that's what I mean with like owning a business. And it's like, if I was the only person there working and I was like coming up with all the ideas and doing, you know, it wouldn't be as authentic. You know what I mean? If it was just a one-man show, you know what I mean? And that's what I don't. I don't.
Actually want to
fact check. He's gonna fact check us.
Yeah, it was Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne. Jobs was fired a few years into founding the company with those three guys.
Okay.
So.
No,
you could get fired from a company you found.
Yeah, the other two founders and the board of directors
had more percentages.
Did not like him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought that was not possible because my ex-business partner, he said that we fired him supposedly, but I was like, how can I fire you from you walked away? But you know, that's another story.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
I didn't think that was possible. I argued that for days. I was like, how could you get fired from a business you found with me? Like, you know, like I don't get it. But and we're a small, tiny, small business. But
well, speaking about business, I want to make sure I say this correctly. Now, in recent months, there's been public backlash in Minnesota involving the Somali immigrant-owned businesses. How has that situation's backlash reflected into the broader misunderstanding about Somali-owned businesses and culture?
man, honestly, bro, you know, like as far for me, I don't know, bro. I kind of was raised differently. For me, like my people look at me like you know, like he's, you know, I got tattoos and stuff, like the waves with the beard. I don't look like your
Wavy.
typical, you know, I don't look like your typical Somali person, and so then it's like I kind of get pushed out.
Really?
You know, people try to fake it and like act like I don't get pushed out and stuff. You know, people definitely judge and look at me differently. And like, you know, when we first started the business, like I was definitely getting support and stuff, but it was like a trending thing.
Yeah.
But like, as far as now, there's some loyal Somali customers that still come around, and I definitely love and respect them for that. A lot of them jumped on the bandwagon of like kind of like disappearing from like this scene with the shop, and like not full on like supporting us like they did before. And you know, that's, believe it or not, that is not our biggest customer base at all. You know what I mean? We have a big diverse customer base that comes in every day from all different parts of the world, you know, and we love our customers, and I don't really take it to heart. I really don't take a lot of things to heart. You know, like even like I see like TikToks and stuff of like, you know, Somali people, like, you know, like they're getting a lot of backlash for a lot of things, you know what I mean? Even like when guys get on there and like, do I look black? Do I look black? I'm not black. And I'm like, bro, that is like the wildest thing I've ever heard. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, you're like people don't understand. Like, even like, you know, I got black friends that said like, I'm not African, and I'll be looking at them like, bro, what are you talking about? What do you mean you're not African? And what do you mean you're not black? Like you guys do understand, like black is a color. You can't be a color. You know what I mean? That's not like, you can't be a color.
Yes.
So when African is like, I'm not black, technically you are black, bro. Everybody is black. It's a color. Technically, if I'm being real, we're all African American. You know what I mean? Like, I never understood people that look alike wanting to go against each other so hard. And, you know, we're really good at that. We're really good at dividing and just trying to go at each other while everybody else in the world just sits back and watches and makes a mockery, a foolery out of it. Like, I never understood.
Oh, yeah. It literally, I was watching Love Is Blind with my girl, and this dude was like, this is my first time going out with a person of color. And I said, wow, that's wild. And he looks mixed. Like, he definitely looks mixed. And bro, I was like, what? A person
I don't get it.
And
we're all fighting the same battle. We're literally all fighting the same battle, and like,
it's a classism battle.
You know, we're literally fighting the same battle, and it's like, there was a point of time where we were all in the same place. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm not gonna get into details about it, but like, we were all in the same place. We're all the same skin color. We're all, even like with the whole like just race stuff too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like for me, I tell people all the time, whatever you're into as far as like sexuality, race wise, who you date, what's your skin color? You know what I mean? I don't ever get uncomfortable. I can walk in a room full of people that don't look like me, and hey, how you doing? I'm popping with them. You know, if you don't like me because of who I am, whatever, hey, we're fine. I am not mad at you. You don't like me, all right. I will move on. I would, you know, I'll get out your way. I'm not even gonna bother you. You know what I mean? But I don't come into a room and start judging people because of what they look like or who they like, who they think they are, what they go by. None of that. It doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're on this earth for a short amount of time, and I don't think people understand that it's real. Like, we're not gonna be here forever. You know what I mean? Like, we have way bigger problems to worry about, on top of bills and people who have families, kids, you know what I mean, and all types of other stuff, you know, a whole life that we're worried about. We still have somewhere to go after this. We still have answers to, you know what I mean? Like, we only have our life story was written already, you know what I mean? When it's all said and done, we have to go answer to our life story, you know? So, like, for me, it's like, like the dividing and it's a mess. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And, like, you know, like, I witnessed a lot of it in prison and seen it. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's very segregated.
Which brings me to the point of what your coffee shop is supposed to do. When you talked about, like, a lot of community and like culture, like what is Above Ground supposed to, like, represent for the compatriots of
Above Ground is for everybody. That's one thing about Above Ground, is literally for everybody. It's not about Somali people. It's not about just our culture. This is, if anything, it's to show other races, other people, everyone, what our culture is about and what comes with it. But outside of that, it's for anybody. Our doors is open to anybody. I don't care what you go by. I don't care what skin color you are. You know what I mean? When you a customer walk in, I don't care who they are, old, young. You smile, you greet them, you ask them their favorite drink. I joke with customers all the time. You know what I mean? I joke with them all the time. You know what I mean? Like, especially, like, the elders. I love them. Like, I don't know what it is, but, like, they all just remind me of my grandma. And so, like, I always joke with elders. Like, you know, I joke with them. I play with them. You know, and kids too. Kids, like, you know, they be with their parents. And I'll be like, you're not going to order nothing? You want a hot chocolate or something? You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm the type that, like, I'll give, like, you don't even got to pay for it. Like, sometimes, like, if the parents like, no, it's okay, and they start crying or something, I'll be like, here's hot chocolate, here's a cup of milk, like, could I get you, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, in a way, giving back to people that might not need it, but still, it's just like, it's not that big of a deal, you know what I mean? Like, this is not a big loss for me to just, you know what I mean? Like, everything's not about money, you know what I mean? Everything's not, it's about being kind, and, like, humanity is, like, a real thing, you know, and I don't think people understand that, like, everything's not always about money, you know?
Man, you get into some crazy parts of this interview, but I think the appropriate thing I at least want to say is I was able to be in that atmosphere, and I was able to witness a lot of that. And, like, even when I remember when the guy came in and he was like, "Oh, I'm looking for some pastries." You're like, "Oh." You was like, man, I'm so mad we don't have those pastries, because he was really wanting to, like, really take care of his kids into that manner. It's just like how you just treat people, whether they don't get what they're looking for, they're sitting, hanging out with their friends, they're studying. Like, I really, in, like, dead ass, like, no bullshit, y'all. Like, I really got the full experience, like, being in there, like, and even though I'm gonna be honest with you, because, like, when I was crafting that question too as well, because from what I understand from, like, Somali culture is, like, there's a lot of group economics. There's, like, the strong togetherness, and, like, it's very interesting to hear from you that you felt, like, exiled. So I really loved how you answered that question from your perspective, because I want to bring it home to the.
No, they definitely are. You know, they you know what I mean. Like, I wouldn't say don't look at every Somali person like those, like the people in Minnesota when it comes to the information that's on the news and
But
what's
that was misinformation
you
too.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because a lot of individuals, like I know, like especially like the moms, like they do a lot of trying to, like, you know what I mean. My mom been working her whole life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean. The goal was to have her stop eventually. You know what I mean, when the time is right. But like my pops too, like he was working. Like, you know, my parents ain't never got over or stole or did, you know, anything, you know what I mean? So it's like with a lot of the, especially even like a lot of the Somali moms here in the city, like they do a lot, you know what I mean? Like a lot of them, like I know some like kids' parents who get on the bus to this day, you know what I mean, just to go to work, make sure they provide for their kids. And on top of that, those moms come home and they make sure they cook meals for the whole family. They clean the whole house.
Mama.
On top of going to work, getting on the bus and getting off the bus. You know what I mean? There's point in times my mom used to take the bus to work and she used to clean houses. She worked at a cafe, the mall. Like she was doing all types of different jobs, you know what I mean? So definitely shout out to the moms and, you know what I mean? Definitely not bashing the community and like, I just, I be having my little funny comments. I feel like my people don't accept me for me, but like, I'm just different. That's just all it is.
No, and I like, well, number one, I appreciate you circling back and just like clarifying that too as well. But I didn't get that as well. I'm gonna just be honest. I was just surprised because it's like a very like tight knit, close community, and to hear you with all the success that you procured and what you've given back, that you even feel that. So it's like interesting. Whereas like, even if it's not, we'll say the norm, it's a perspective that should be shared, and like I think it's important. So I actually really appreciate you answering that.
Definitely.
Because I want to make sure I also say this next part correctly. So I, in my personal opinion, deem that you are very successful and you have fame. So I'm curious, when it comes to procuring success and fame, what has that taught you about support?
Man, I wouldn't say fame at all. I don't have fame.
Look at this man.
Nah, that's crazy. I don't think it's fame. Honestly, like, bro, like for me, like, there's a lot of like people get awards and like standing ovations and stuff like that for like the stuff they do and like the accomplishments that they have and stuff. And for me, it's like I don't care for any of that. I don't, you know what I mean? Like I like getting calls from the trenches and like they tell me like, yo, I seen this and that. I seen you doing this and that. Yo, I just drove by your coffee shop, bro. This is dope. Like, you know what I mean? Like I love when they call me from the north. Like I'm from North Portland. Like when they call me from the north and they tell me like, yo, I see you doing your thing, bro. I appreciate you. Like, keep doing your thing, bro. Or they comment on my pictures or comment on videos on Instagram, TikTok, and they be like, keep going, brother. I'm proud of you. Like, that type of stuff is what, like, really, like motivates me to keep going. Like, that's, like, where it's, like, I'll take this over any award because I'm affecting real people. These are my people, you know what I mean? They're calling from the slums and telling me, like, yo, I support you. Like, you motivate me. You know what I mean? I have DMs on my phone. I can show you where people are literally messaging me, like people that are in the streets, like, you know what I mean? They do street stuff, but they want to leave it behind. And they tell me like how I motivate them every day. You know what I mean? Like I get calls from people in jail. They call me like, yo, I seen you on the news, Queen 6, bro. Like, heard you got a shop. I just got a call the other day. Like, yo, I haven't talked to you in a while, bro. I'm just trying to lock in and focus and I'm reading and stuff, bro. They was talking about you out here on the yard. They like, yeah, man, you hear about Ali? He got a coffee shop and he got trucks and stuff. He doing his thing. And I'm like, for real? They was talking, dang, bro. And that's what really makes me like realize like, you know what I mean? Like Instagram likes, all that stuff, that's cool. But that ain't really important to me, honestly. Like, that's cool. I think people get sidetracked by that. And like, I like more of like what I like real life stuff that I see. Like the internet is fake. But like when people call me from the trenches and they call me from jails and they tell me like, bro, you're motivating me. And these are people that are down, you know what I mean? Their headspace is off. They're, you know what I mean? They don't know when they're coming home. Like, you know what I mean? I had a guy that he got like 12 years left. He called me like, bro, he asked me for $1. He just called me to tell me, like, bro, I'm proud of you, bro. Like, if anything, do me a favor, bro. Just send me some pictures whenever you get a chance. Like, just everything you've been doing. Like, I heard you traveling, this, and that. Like, send me some pictures of some, like, beaches or something, bro. And, like, I remember, like, it's crazy because when I was in a cell with him, I had a picture of New York City on the wall. And I was like, I'm going to go to this city, bro. I can't wait. You know what I mean? And I took a whole bunch of pictures in New York when I went there. Like, it was, like, one of my, like, favorite visits because, like, favorite city to visit because I was like, bro, I told myself I'm going to go here. You know what I mean? And I went here and I'm on top of this building where, like, you can see the whole city all around the, I think it's, like, the sky view or something like that. And I was like, I told myself I was going to do this, you know what I mean? And, like, I was telling him about it on the phone. He was like, you really went there? Bro, send me some pictures, bro. I can't believe it, man. Like, man, I'm really happy for you, bro. Like, keep going, little bro. Like, I'm really proud of you, bro, you know? And I've seen people come home and ask me for guidance. They don't ask for $1. They don't ask for no money. They're just like, bro, I'm trying to get a job. I've hooked people up with jobs because, you know, in order for me to get to where I'm at now, I got a job within my first week out. Right away. There was times I was working 2 jobs. I used to work from 7 in the morning to 2 a.m.
Damn.
And I'll sleep for 4 or 5 hours, and I'm still going to the gym. You know what I mean? Like,
It's okay, man.
like, you know, I'm doing 2 jobs. Like, you know what I mean? I go from 7 in the morning to 2 or 3, get off. By 5, I had my next job. I had to start, so I had that little gap to get some food, go to the gym sometimes. If I didn't try to go, like, early in the morning, I'll go to the gym in that gap just so I can get a little bit more sleep because I don't do naps during the day. And then, you know, I would, I was locked in, bro. I would go to work 5 p.m., get off at 2 p.m. The checks was worth it, though. I was saving all that money. I'm trying to become an entrepreneur. I'm saving money. I'm building credit. I'm trying to do all types of stuff. So it's like everything kind of moved fast for me, but, like, at the same time, like, you know, there's no handouts. I worked for it, you know what I mean? I had a couple business partners and stuff like that, and very appreciative of. And, you know, yeah, definitely had a lot of lessons I've learned. Even getting out, I've learned a lot of lessons I've had. And you know, don't get it twisted. I struggle every day. Bro. This is not easy. This is not easy at all. I'm not no millionaire. I'm not Bill Gates. I've not made it yet. I tell people all the time that comment on my pictures and stuff like that. I did not make it yet. You know, the goal is to make it. I hope I do, you know, but I've not made it yet. My situation is a lot different, but I haven't made it yet. I'm not rich. I'm not any of that.
One, I don't know his books or finances, y'all.
I'm
Meaning, but you've made it in so many successful ways that may not, you know, be maybe the money pot that you want, but it's like being able to understand and take in the proper support, because what's to say, people who've reached like your level, they can just be sucked into a lot of all what they think is support, because a lot of the things I really heard that really gas you up are the people who really just want you to win and they want nothing from you.
Right.
Because it's so easy to like let that Instagram comment or that like be like, you know, to big up the head.
Yeah.
And I think that's important too when you're, you know, trying to like you know, grow your business. And that actually funnels me into the question I wanted to ask you as an entrepreneur, right? Because you have so many businesses when it comes to people you work from, when it comes to forgiveness, when it comes to the coffee shop, when it comes to the loading company, when it comes to all the things that you do as an entrepreneur. What emotion do you feel like you avoid the most when it comes to feeling?
I feel like I learned over time, you know, I learned that you can't take things personal.
Damn.
Taking things personal and showing your hand. Those are the 2 things that I've learned. Don't ever show your hand, and don't take things personal, because you know what they say, it's business, not personal. You know, so it's like I learned that a lot, and I've took a lot of losses when it came to business, you know what I mean? There's been things I've invested into, and like I'm still like fighting for right now to this day, that, you know what I mean, like, and I'm just like, you know, like, there's money in there for me, but you know, you know, like I've helped people build things, and like, you know, they're doing their thing now, and I'm an investor, but they'll try to shut it out like I'm not, you know. But you know, you got to go the proper way with attorneys and, you know, and all that stuff. But realistically, you can't take it personal. You know, you can't crash out. You can't overreact. You just gotta play. And then that's another thing, like just playing smart, you know, sitting back, chilling, just waiting for the right moment, and eventually, you know, you'll be dealt the right hand, you know, and attorney or whoever would, you know, do what they gotta do to get it all situated and figured out. And that's just a part of business. Like, you win some, you lose some. And I'm learning that every day. And, you know, I have mentors. I got mentors that I get on the phone with, and I talk on the phone. You know what I mean? I got a couple unks, you know what I mean, I get on the phone with, like, yo, hey, you know, you got this and this going on, or, you know, I got, you know, a few of them millionaires, and, like, they, you know, if I'm struggling or whatever, like, they ain't gonna hand me a hand, but they gonna give me some advice, you know what I mean? And that's very big, because it's like, I'm not gonna help you get up, but I'm gonna show you how to get back up, you know what I mean? And that's important.
No, I appreciate you sharing that, because that gets us into our last question, our last segment of the day. But before I even get to that, I gotta speak to the gym and what you said. Is I don't hear any malice or bitterness. Now, I do hear disappointment from how an investment didn't work. Yeah,
definitely.
But it's like, what you just gave was a lot of free game, because there's so many people who are so quick to want to, like, give their get back. Yeah. I really want to tie this in, because one of the big things you really just said like 10, 20 minutes ago is like community and culture. And it's like, when you grow businesses with people, it's about the relationships and not like prematurely burning bridges for like an opportunity, because at the end of the day, you have to see that person in the same community. Right. And I really appreciate you talking about how you do business, not taking things personally, because us as a human populace, we struggle at, because everyone's so quick to match energy of like negativity, but can you match energy to positivity?
Right. No, definitely. That's a big, bro. A lot of people, you're right. Like, we're all in the same community, and, you know, but you know what, one thing I realized about this all is, like, a lot of people say community, but community is not a big thing for them, for real. You know what I mean? Community is like it's like a trending word that people say and use. You know what I mean? Like, they're just like, you know, like they love throwing that word around, community. You know what I mean? Like, you know, for me personally, I don't know if I should talk about the community, like, personally. Like, that's one of my big things that I wanted to, like, okay, well, like, for me personally, like, the community, like, community means a lot to me, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I've done a few community things. I did, I'm from North Portland, you know, and so when I do community stuff, I've done some stuff in Southeast before, you know, for my people out there. But, like, realistically, North Portland, that's like that's home, you know what I mean? Like, I grew up there, walking over to the rec, walking over to, you know, like, right now I do like mentorship at the rec and stuff with kids, and I also am doing something with Worders Bond and mentorship with them, with some kids and youth and stuff. But like the back to school drives, like, that came to me. Like, I wanted to do that when I was in prison. Like, I wanted to do that. Like, I told myself I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna give back to the hood, you know what I mean? Like, where I grew up in. Like, this is like one of, like, I used to take my little brother to the back to school drives. We used to go get free haircuts, and like, I'm gonna go get my favorite barbers that I go to personally, and I'm gonna pay him to come out and cut his hair, and like, I'm gonna, you know what I mean, I'm gonna get these youth to see me and believe that if I went to prison and did it, bro, you don't have to take the same route I did. You can take a better route than me and come back to the hood and do something way bigger than I've ever did. And it doesn't just stop at just me. I expect the next generation to follow and pursue the same thing. Cause, you know, one of my mentors, Mr. Ray Leary, I watched him do some certain things and working with kids. And that's kind of what has me doing the things that I do now when it comes to working with kids, just getting that message across. And he was preaching to me every day about things, and I ain't listen to him. But with me, it's a little different now, because, like, I'm closer to the age of these kids. And so it's like, you know, they joke around like, oh, what's up with Unc? like, bro, stop playing with me. But, you know, I'm really big bro. You know what I mean? Like, don't call me Unc. I don't even got kids, bro. Like, you don't call me Unc.
So to be Unc, you gotta have at least one kid.
At least one kid or be 30.
So is he Unc?
You 30? Oh, yeah, you're
And
Unc.
he got one kid.
Oh, you're Unc. Oh, man. He's Unc.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Yeah, you Unc now. No, I really appreciate your community work because, hey, you know, kind of goes back to a lot of say with the atonement piece where like I feel that, but I also feel from like your personal core, like who you are, like you would have done this even if that event didn't happen. That's just the type of person that.
No, definitely, bro. Like, you know, what's crazy is I don't even get grants and stuff for like the community stuff that I've done. Like, I've gotten help from Word is Bond. But a lot of the times I've came out of pocket. You know what I mean? I've gone to these stores and bought stuff. You know what I mean? There's no discounts or anything. I've came out of pocket for it because it's like that's how important it is to me to see those kids in the hood and be like, I want them to go to school on Monday with a whole bunch of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I've had so much envisions, bro. Like big envisions where I'm like crazy partnerships with like a Nike or Adidas or something, you know what I mean? Where I'm like, bro, I can come with Damian Lillard or Drew Holiday or somebody big and with truckloads to the Ville and just drop off shoes to the kids. I would personally, individually hand out each shoes to these kids, you know what I mean? Just so they feel like, bro, we made it, bro. Like, you know what I mean? We got hoopers we got legends in our hometown, but also in our neighborhood, giving us shoes, you know what I mean? Giving us backpacks, like, you know what I mean? Like, I have big dreams, you know what I mean? Like, like eventually, hopefully, you know, let's say I had a couple million or something, you know what I mean? Like, I've thought about, like, what would you do, like, if you had a couple million right now? Like, you know what I mean? Of course, buying moms a house, taking care of, you know, what's crazy is, like, if you ask anybody that knows me, like, when it comes to like having a couple million, I've planned out everything in my head already. I would take care of everybody around and everybody in my neighborhood before I ever did something for myself. And that's just the type of person I am. Like, I got $20 right now and it's 4 of us and like we go get some food. If y'all don't have no money, I'm the type to make sure you guys eat first. And then I'm going to try to order the least amount so that we can split that whole 20. I'm gonna make sure y'all go first and not me. You know what I mean? I've never been the type to sit around and watch people eat at a table with me or not eat at a table with me while I'm eating. So,
I know what y'all thinking right now. This nigga capping. If he got $1 million, he ain't taking none of that first.
Man, I promise you.
I promise you.
I swear
conversation not on the pod. Unprovoked. He literally talked about a situation I can't talk about, and he literally said the same thing. And as a therapist, psychologist, when people repeat the same patterns, he's not capping.
I'll put you on the phone with a few people right now that I had these conversations. I swear, if I get on the phone right now, I call him like, yo, what, you know what I mean? Like, ask Riddy. Listen, listen, we could call Riddy after this and I don't even say anything. I'd be like, yo, what did I say? If I ever had a couple M's, what would I do? Cause like, you know, like I think about that all the time with celebrities and like famous people. And I'm like, I get the tax write-offs and all that donations and stuff. But I be thinking like, man, like I feel like there's so much people can do, bro. Like, there's so much, bro. There's so many famous people that are so, like, they're so rich and just up. And I see so many people in the hood just struggle and try to, and barely make it, bro. You know what I mean? It's 80-year-old grandmas that have been struggling their whole life. And that type of stuff, like it messes with me, bro. Like, it messes with me personally. Like, I don't like it. Like, thinking about that type of stuff, bro, like, it weighs heavy on me. And that's how I know, like, I got a good heart because I won't even be in the house with these people, but I have so much sympathy for them because I feel like, damn, bro, like you know what I mean? I don't like to pocket watch people, you know, celebrities, hoopers, whatever. You guys earn the money. You do whatever you do with the money. 1,000%. I am not telling you guys you need to do this. But I say for myself, if I ever was in their situation, you know, and people say you're not in their situation, so you wouldn't know. I know deep down, I come from nothing. So I know if I was in their situation, if I come from nothing already and I get in your situation, I know for a fact that I would be willing to give and do as much as I can. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I can, because like even those little giveaways, bro, when they come to people's hoods and they give out backpacks or school supplies, and it's not even you donate the stuff. When you show your face and you do this stuff, and you're like Kevin Durant, LeBron James, like, you know what I mean? Like, let them go to their hood or wherever they're from and go give back, right? I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying give back to a point you pull up and you show your face. The mental, like, the way it changes these kids' lives and mentally, like, the motivation that they put in these kids, like, I don't think they understand that. I don't think, my thing is a lot of celebrities, a lot of athletes, they don't understand the amount of power that they have, the way that they can affect people. You know what I mean? Growing up as a kid, I was a big Kobe fan. Kobe had my mindset, even hooping. Like, I used to always think like I would get hurt, whatever, I'm going to keep playing, because like that mama mentality. Like, to this day as an adult, I'm like, you know, that Kobe mentality, like, game is on the line. I don't care if I missed a shot. I'm taking that last shot. I could look at 3 players that's with me, and you can ask this with anybody. Oh, is MVP about to shoot the ball with the last second on the clock? They know I'm going for it. They shout out to Bonzi. Ask my boy Bonzi. I hit a game winner.
Wells?
No, Bonzi Banks. You know what I mean? Like, ask my boy. I hit a game winner, you know what I mean, at one of our games. But he had the ball last second. He wouldn't pass it to me. And then I was like, give me the ball, bro. Give me the ball right now. Because I always tell myself I would rather lose on my terms and it be my fault than for me to watch another guy take the shot and he misses and we lose. And I think I could have did so much more, but I can't. It's out of my control. If I shoot the ball, I'll take the blame for it. If I miss, it's all on me. I messed up. I don't want to blame you for messing up if you missed a shot. You know what I mean? And my boy Bonzi, he trusted me. I hit the game winner. But I say that to say this. Kobe changed my mindset. You know what I mean? Kobe had me thinking like, you can do anything. You know what I mean? And so that's I never met Kobe in my life. Nip, you know what I mean? He gave me that hustle and motivation, like that, you know what I mean? That hustle mindset. Like, my mom gave me the hustle mindset, but Nip just turned it up more, you know what I mean? Because I watched her just hustle and like just, you know what I mean? But Nip, like, just listening to his music and stuff, like, he motivated me. So this is a rapper and an athlete that have played a big factor in my life. That's why I got that Kobe and Nip picture at my shop. Because I got a Nip picture at home, right next to my brother Justin that passed away, RIP. You know, but it definitely played a big factor in my life. So I say that to say this, with these athletes, you don't know how many kids' lives you would impact. You know what I mean? Even giving jerseys in the stands. I comment on celebrity stuff sometimes, you know what I mean, when they give out, or athletes when they give out jerseys and stuff. And I'd be like, nah, the first few rows, those kids in the first few rows, they're sitting up here for a reason, bro. You know what I mean? 9 out of 10 times they're set up. Go up there to 300 row, bro. Go climb up those stairs and go get that jersey to that kid that's all the way at the top that just came from the trenches because they just got some tickets from the local Boys and Girls Club, and they were donated by the stadium or the team to that Boys and Girls Club. And that's why this kid is here tonight. And he's never going to meet you ever in his life because he's all the way at the 300 row. Go give that jersey to that kid. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel personally. Like, I see that, and I'm like, have they ever responded? Nah.
Or comment back?
Nah, they don't never comment back. They never respond back or anything. They don't be responding back, you know, but they get caught on camera, you know, they give out the kids to, you know, there's some little kid that they see in the front few rows, and I'm okay with that too, but Give out 2 jerseys. Go give the kid right there the jersey because you know he deserves it. He's right there. He got your attention. It's all love. Give it to him. But go up there, bro, where that kid is up there, where you can change his life, bro. He's in the trenches. You know what I mean? Where all he wakes up to in the neighborhood is gunshots every day. And he knows when he gets older, he got a choice between this side and this side, or going to chase a dream that you're living right now, and that's the league, or he has the choice to go to college and do something different because you showed him by just giving him that jersey, like, there's more to life, bro. Like, nobody in my hood ever met Anthony Edwards. Nobody in my hood ever met Damian Lillard. Like, that kid can say that. You know what I mean? Like,
No, damn. I'm not gonna lie. That's actually kind of that's good. The good bar. There was a video that came up, and there was a guy. He wasn't talking about kids, but he was like, "I'm paying for those jerseys. The athletes can come to my job and just sign random jerseys because and that's just like a more funnier way." But I see what you're talking about the inspiration, and I think that piece is like important, which kind of gets us into our last quick little bit. And this is meant to be like 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, 45. So what we call in this segment, what we ever hear, is called the offering. The offering is when we have guests on, we have a longitudinal study. So our last guest, and he left us with an offering of how should you be more thorough in your life, and it's supposed to be 60 seconds. And I just want to ask you, how should you have been more thorough in your life?
I should have been more thorough in my life. I should have listened more. Like, I should have been more open-minded and listened to the people that wanted the best for me, you know, and not thinking that they're trying to control me or they're trying to guide me to do what they wanted, but just to understand that they're warning me of what's to come. And I didn't. Okay. I didn't, you know, I wasn't aware of it at the time. And even now as an adult, still listening applies.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Listening is very important. And, you know, like sometimes people say it's hard for me to sit down and listen, but I think I'm a good listener personally. But like I said, I think I could do better.
Okay. So now this is you. What's the offering that you want to leave for our guests and for, not our guests, I apologize. What is the offering you want to leave for our viewers and our future guests to answer?
What's the offering?
What's something inspirational or a thought that you want to leave?
Could it be 1 or 2 things?
Yeah.
1, giving back. Like, and I'm not saying giving back as in, like, go buy something from the store and give it to somebody. You know what I mean? Giving back. You see an old lady walking in, you know, as a man, like as a young youth, as a young man, you know, as a human being, you see an old lady walking in or a young person walking in, hold the door open. You walk in first, hold that door open. Let them go through first. That's giving back. You know what I mean? Somebody drops something, pick it up for them. Why? You know what I mean? They might be old. Pick up for them, give it to them, tell them, tap them, tell them they dropped something and they help them pick it up. You know what I mean? That's giving back. Just being kind. You know, we live in an evil world. Everybody has something to say. You know, we live in this fantasy, fake social media. Everybody wants this. Like this image and stuff. You know what I mean? That's why I said I struggle, bro. Like, I don't care about what you think, above ground, MVP loading, this, and you got money. No, do not think any of that. I struggle, bro. I struggle with a lot of things, and I can admit that. Like, I'm not living, you know what I mean, this fantasy life story, but, like, I struggle, bro. And so, like, other thing is not being judgmental. You know what I mean? Like, you can't live in this world and just be judgmental forever. Like, you know, it comes a time that you have to be open-minded and understand that people go through stuff, and taking the time to understand the person for who they are or what they value or what they bring to you or to anyone in this life being more important than you judging them off of whatever it is that you think in your head. Whatever cartoon illusion that you have in your head that you think fits the person, like, leave that behind.
Yeah.
And stop being judgmental.
Well, y'all heard it here first. I think that's a good offering to leave, and that's a good continuation to the story. I'm going to just say, man, I really appreciate you coming on from the bottom of my heart, because I'm going to be honest with you, just even interviewing, talking with you, I kind of felt like I was even reflecting on how I can be better, and just like your real life story. I really appreciate you being open and vulnerable on the show, and just being you. And like, you were nervous to even come on here, and we can bleep that out. But bro, you literally, I felt like this is the person that I met, and this is the person I literally wanted to interview, and like, you're doing it.
Appreciate it.
And I literally know you're going to meet and reach your goal. Now, as before we end, I at least just want to say, if you guys like this episode, I just have something really quick to let you know, and he's going to tell you a little bit more, and then we're going to get out of here. And that is, he's starting his own podcast. And
yes, sir. Raised by the ground.
And can we get a small
above ground?
Can we get a small sneak peek? Do we know when it's coming out?
Yeah,
to close this out.
We just released our intro video. It's at abovegrndpdx on Instagram and TikTok. Go follow us, like the video.
Follow the YouTube page.
Follow the YouTube page.
1,000 subscribers for them too.
That's throw that in there. That's on the link.
We both need it
in the bio. Definitely support him too. But yeah, no, it's definitely something dope. You know what I mean? We're gonna have coffee talks. You know what I mean? We're gonna be telling a little bit more about my story. My dope co-host, Gabby.
Shout out.
Yep. She's definitely dope. She definitely works hard and stuff. So yeah, get to meet her. You know, we might hear a little bit more about Riddy. You know, Ridwan.
we might have to pull up on him.
It's definitely her. You know,
we have to pull up on him.
Great guy. But yeah. Shout out Masalam too. Moose as my other guy. Yeah, man, they're loyalty, man. They're dope, man. But yeah, we're trying to do something special over there at Above Ground, and you know, I'm starting to get more comfortable and getting out of my shell. And
there we go.
I'm gonna be ready to roll soon. We're working fast, and you know, we're trying to put stuff together. And so yeah, man, we're definitely ready, and we can't wait to talk more in front of the camera with you guys.
Hey, please, if you guys like this episode, please go follow all the things Mom is doing, from his moving business, from coffee to the future podcasts, because there's enough space in the podcasting realm in Portland to share, and we would love to also
around the world.
Ooh. We would like to also, if you have any questions, always feel free.
Oh yeah.
We hope to be a pod brethren in the community as you grow. Now,
shout out my future mentor right here. Definitely about to be calling him. So,
hey, it's free.
Yeah.
Meaning, if you like what we're doing, like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate you coming on. Once again, if you made it this far in the video, a subscribe really helps grow the platform and lets me know you like what we're doing. And if I have more resources, I definitely can obviously pay my friends and put more back into the podcast so you enjoy it even more. So this is Rob.
It's Mehamed.
And we out.
Peace.